You know, it really should go without saying that dead people don't qualify for stimulus checks. After all, it is very hard to boost the economy from the hereafter.
And yet here we are in Highlands Ranch. A woman there was mailed a check despite having been dead for 2 years. And unsure of what to do, her son reached out to Contact 7 Chief Investigator Tony Kovaleski for some help.
We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately.
And that announcement by the Secretary of the Treasury put the ink and the money in motion.
Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now.
Reports show more than 130 million checks have gone out, more than $200 billion in stimulus money. Checks intended for qualified, living Americans.
Well, my mom passed away over 2 years ago, and I received a stimulus check for her.
Highlands Ranch resident Lee Cohen opened his mailbox and found this envelope and this check.
When you got that envelope, what were your reactions and what were your thoughts?
I couldn't believe they sent it since my mom was deceased, and I even filed a final tax return for her, so they have the data.
Cohen says the federal government ignored or overlooked several opportunities to avoid sending the $1,200 check to his deceased mother. Her death certificate is a public record. He informed Social Security shortly after her death to end benefits, and he filed her final tax return with the IRS before that check was cut.
Are you saying the IRS should have known?
I think so. They must have the systems not tied in together.
What's that say to you?
That we're wasting a lot of taxpayers' money, and I'm sure that some people are cashing them.
And Cohen's questions and concerns go deeper. Look closely at the check. He blacked out his mother's name, but right after the name, take a look at the 4 letters.
It says DECD after your mom's name. What's that say to you?
That they know she's deceased, so they shouldn't have sent it.
When you see a case like this, it makes you wonder who's running the ship.
Andrew Romanoff and John Hickenlooper,
again, I'm sympathetic. There's a lot going on, but it's just not acceptable.
Are trying to convince Colorado voters they deserve one of Colorado's 2 Senate seats. We asked both candidates to react to the check.
Is this an indictment against our government being able to do something right?
Plainly, somebody fell asleep at the switch here. I don't know how hard it would be to check the database against the list of death records. That should have been done before this went out.
This is a clear example. Where's the oversight? It's very frustrating to me to see that this kind of conduct and the lack of professionalism is just accepted because people in Washington don't care.
And that brings us back to Lee Cohen and his decision.
I mean, I could have deposited it because my name is on it and I was the executor, but it's not my money.
2 notes in closing. We also invited Senator Cory Gardner to join this discussion. He was not available. And second, you might be asking how many other Americans like Lee Cohen's mother received those checks. Well, we reached out to both the IRS and the Department of Treasury trying to get that answer. They gave no comment. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski.